United Kingdom government publication Debunks EV Myths. July 25, 2022. As consumer interest in electric vehicles has grown, the wave of anti-EV myths and misinformation has grown to a tsunami. False and misleading information sloshes around social media, popular magazines and local newspapers like the Tides in the Bay of Fundy. Here at the EV Annex blog, we regularly publish accurate information that contradicts much of the common anti-EV codswallop. See my recent 3-part series Debunking EV Myths. Parts 1, 2 and 3, and my more tongue-in-cheek piece, Snarky Answers to Stupid EV Questions. And our colleagues in the EV press do the same. We know whereof we speak. We've owned EVs for years, and we regularly speak with industry experts about the challenges of e-mobility. However, to a certain extent we're preaching to the electric choir. Our readership skews toward people who are already knowledgeable about EVs. The average driver may be more likely to get their information from a thinking about buying an EV article in a local newspaper written by a mainstream journalist who means well, but isn't well informed about the topic. Or worse yet, from one of those EV's dirty little secret articles bought and paid for by the oil industry or some even more sinister entity. Automakers, which finally want consumers to buy their EVs, and governments, which are spending taxpayer money to promote EVs, need to do much more to educate the driving public. The UK's Department for Transport has taken a step in the right direction with a new publication entitled Common Misconceptions About Electric Vehicles. For better or for worse, I've become something of a professional EV myth debunker, and my expert assessment of this publication is that it's quite good. It addresses all the most common canards, plus a few apparently UK-specific ones that even I hadn't heard before. It presents the material briefly, in plain language, as befits the intended audience of EV-curious motorcar buyers, and includes links to more detailed information. The myths to be busted, or more properly, objections to be overcome, are presented in the proper order. Starting with the most commonly heard. Item number 1 is not exactly a myth, and it's the main obstacle to wider EV adoption at the moment. EVs are too expensive. The DFT's boffins correctly point out that EVs do cost more to purchase, but deliver a lower lifetime cost of ownership, thanks to lower fuel and maintenance costs. Tax incentives in the UK provide an added bonus. The writers succinctly dispose of no less than 19 common bugaboos. Not enough range. 99% of car journeys in England are under 100 miles. And there are over 20 models available in the UK market with over 200 miles of range. Does building an EV generate more emissions than it saves? Actually, no. This has been debunked in numerous well-respected studies. Batteries wear out after 5 years. Not a bit of it. There are well over 10 million EVs on the world's roads. And there is no evidence to suggest their lifespans are any different from a petrol or diesel vehicle. As we move down the list, the objections become more whimsical. Can EVs be driven or charged in the rain? EVs have to comply with tough technical rules, including crash and electrical safety. Dryly write the report's authors. This means they are safe to drive and charge in a wide range of weather conditions. I was a bit disappointed not to see a flash of the famous British ironic humour here. But one can't always have what one wants. Can one? Unlike the preceding item, a few of the objects on the list are legitimate concerns. Car owners who lack off-street parking spaces do face charging challenges. And the reliability of public chargers currently leaves much to be desired. The report's authors acknowledge these problems, and highlight steps that government agencies are taking to address them. The on-street residential charge point scheme provides grant funding for local authorities to increase the availability of on-street charge points in residential streets where off-street parking is not available. Legislation that will mandate a 99% reliability standard for rapid charge points is to be introduced in Parliament later this year. Source reposted and summarized from Charles Morris at Avanex. My take: some of it is ignorance and fear of change. Part of it is part of a plan to slow down electric cars. Tesla has its own lane at Texas-Mexico border. July 24, 2022. The manufacturer was able to establish this special lane to help its suppliers from the Mexican state of Nuevo León. Tesla managed to convince the Mexican state Nuevo León to create special lane that allows its suppliers from the country to more easily cross to and from the United States. The state of Nuevo León borders Texas, where Tesla has moved its headquarters and is now relying on several suppliers from Mexico in order to operate. Ivan Rivers. The Nuevo Leon economy minister says Tesla is currently working with 6 suppliers from the state, among which are APG Mexico, the N-Flex Corp, Faurecia and even Germany's ZF. And now that the automaker has established its home base in Texas, it's only natural that the number of companies it relies on over the border will increase over time. Wait times for crossing the border crossing between Texas and Nuevo Leon can be as long as 25 minutes during rush hour and through the use of the new dedicated lane. Tesla suppliers go through in less than 10 minutes. The lane is marked with the Tesla script right above. And it's really unusual to see something like this at a border crossing. The two states only share a border for 9 miles with only one crossing point. It is Nuevo Leon's only direct border with the United States. Bloomberg quotes Ivan Rivers as saying, "It was a simple incentive. What we want is a crossing that's much more expedited and efficient. And maybe there will be a lane for other companies in the future like there is for Tesla." Tesla CEO Elon Musk has talked about the possibility of actually opening a factory somewhere in Mexico. As was noted in the Electrek report that made this public, the location had not yet been decided upon, and there was a chance that it could also be built in Canada. However, if Tesla was to choose Mexico, Nuevo Leon, whose government it's already in contact with, could be a desirable location. Source reposted and summarized from Andre Nedelier at Inside E.V.S. My take: there is some thinking outside the box. Let's keep those parts coming in as quick as possible. Is American manufacturing dying a slow death? July 25, 2022. The question has to be asked: is American manufacturing dying a slow death? The Electric Viking shared an interesting video highlighting that it very well may be. Tesla is the most American-made car and was awarded this by Cars.com. That's a feat for Tesla to be proud of. However, as the Electric Viking said, Tesla seems to be the only American automaker that is actually building American-made cars. In his video, he brings up the new Chevrolet Blazer EV. He said that it looks impressive for the price, but there is one big problem. Is it actually American? Is American manufacturing dying? General Motors, he pointed out, presents itself as American. However, popular American brands such as GM, Ford, and Jeep are moving in the opposite direction. They are becoming less and less American every single year. Unfortunately, American manufacturing is dying a slow death. He explained that this is due to countries such as China and Mexico building vehicles at a cheaper cost, labor, and factories. So naturally, these companies move to save money on these costs. Most American-made cars pretty much come from Tesla. Most American-made cars are coming from one company, Tesla. Tesla has 4 of the most American-made cars in the top 6 most American-made cars in America. He added that the rest of the list is mostly made up of Hondas. GM, he pointed out, doesn't have a single American-made car in the top 10 or even the top 12 of the most American-made cars. He pointed out that even BYD, a Chinese company, is building electric buses in California. Why can't GM, an American company, build the Chevrolet Blazer in California? Why Mexico? Elon Musk on manufacturing. Elon Musk shared some really good points about manufacturing and how important American manufacturing is. I interviewed Elon Musk recently and this is what he said. In general, I think manufacturing is underrated. Manufacturing used to be really cool in the US and then for some reason, I think, kind of uncool for quite a long time. And a lot of talented people went in other directions. But I sure hope a lot more talented people get into manufacturing because that's where you're making the products that people use and enjoy. He also added that there are too many smart Americans who don't consider manufacturing as opposed to finance or law whose talents would be better applied to manufacturing. However, it does make sense to me that Americans wouldn't want to get into manufacturing when so many companies such as GM prefer Mexico or China to America to reduce costs. Source reposted and summarized from John Kreider at Tesla RT. My take: the traditional OEMs can't compete because the unions are weighing them down like an anchor. Elon Musk shares updates about Tesla FSD Beta 10.13. July 25, 2022. Tesla CEO Elon Musk shared new updates about the latest version of Tesla's full self-driving Beta 10.13. He responded to Tesla owners of Silicon Valley's John Stringer, who asked if there was a date as to when FSD Beta 10.13 would be. Elon Musk replied that maybe at the end of this week. He added that the team is working hard about it. John then asked Elon how he felt about the update. Should be a major improvement with respect to complex left turns. Tesla began rolling out FSD Beta 10.13 internally earlier this month. Tesla started rolling FSD Beta 10.13. And the release notes referenced beta tester Chuck Cook's challenging unprotecting left turn. Other improvements centered around false positives and false slowdowns around crosswalks. FSD on track for wide release in North America by end of this year. During Tesla's earnings call last week, Elon Musk said that FSD was on track to be released for all of Tesla's North American customers before the end of this year. FSD Beta is on track to be released for all of North American customers before the end of this year. And hopefully, if we get regulatory approval, we'll also be releasing it hopefully in Europe and some other parts of the world. When asked how he felt about how FSD was going and whether or not Andrej Karpathy's departure had any impact, Elon said that Tesla had a team of around 120 people in their software AI group who were extremely talented. He also said that Andrej was writing all of the code by himself, so things did have to come to a grinding halt. Despite that, Elon is highly confident that Tesla will solve FSD this year. We've got a team of about 120 people in our software AI group that are extremely talented. And I think we will have. I'm highly confident we will solve full self-driving, and it still seems to be this year. Source reposted and summarized from John Kreider at Tesla RT. My take: incremental changes towards something that will literally change the world.